Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to my channel. My name is Mona and on my channel I talk about community awareness in autism to parents and carers. My videos are basically based on my own experience of being a parent to an autistic child as well as my formal education in autism studies. Now, as parents, we all want our children to be happy, and finding the school where they can thrive is one of the main priorities for every parent. Now, when it comes to parents of neurodiverse child, that means that we as parents may have to take an additional responsibility. We have to go an extra mile of looking for a school that welcomes our child and they are able to also provide the resources and the supports that our child needs. What are those important things that you need to take into consideration while you're on the hunt for the right school? So, without any further ado, let's dive into these tips. My first tip is something that we as parents of neurodiverse children really don't tend to do quite often, and that is adopting a strength-based approach about our child. It's really important, I believe, that when we are introducing ourselves, our family, our child to the staff or to the school leadership, we adopt a strength-based approach and tell the staff about what our child's strengths are. These strengths don't necessarily have to be academic. Rather, they can be their personality traits. For example, they might be quite good at humor. They may be quite creative. They may have a strong resilience power. So anything that you are proud of and you feel that your child shines at can be discussed in the meeting and can be a good way to introduce your child to the school staff without making the staff feel overwhelmed by your child's needs. So, like if your child wants to discuss or talk about themselves, well, nothing like it. But if not, then make sure that you are your child's best voice. My second point is talk what is important to meet your child's needs. To share with the school staff the assessment reports that have been prepared by your child's therapist. So your child may be working with an occupational therapist or a speech therapist. They may have done a long assessment. Such documents are quite helpful in giving the school an idea about your child's needs as well as their strengths. My third point is that as parents of children with neurodiverse needs, when you're on the school hunt, a really important thing that most of the parents often ignore is getting to know the state and the federal legislation as well as the policy regarding inclusion of students with additional needs at all institutions. For example, especially at schools, universities, or at vocational institutes. I'm in South Australia, and here all education institutions are mandated to include students with additional needs. So it's really important that when you talk to the school staff, you have these important legislative policies in your mind. My next point is about practicing caution, and that is policy does not necessarily equate to practice. So remember that even though the school is bound to adopt a policy about inclusion, but how they practically conduct it or demonstrate it is an entirely different thing. Here you can ask the school leadership or the staff that is responsible for the well-being of students with additional needs as to what are some of the practices they have at school. This can be a really good way of providing you with information about the staff's deeply held views and assumptions about students with additional needs. And does the leadership sound excited and open to the idea of having students with additional needs? My next point is about reasonable adjustments. Providing reasonable adjustments means that the school is enabling students with additional needs to participate in educational as well as co-curricular activities at the same level as their other counterparts. This can be a great insight about schools' attitude to inclusion. My next point is about the student support officers. Here in Australia, students are normally assigned a teacher's aide or a student support officer who provides that one-to-one support to the child with any additional need. So you can ask them questions if these student support officers get to have professional development training about how to work with students with additional needs. For example, how to work with a student with ADHD or with a Down syndrome profile or with an autism profile where the student has some other co-occurring conditions. So these questions can provide a great insight into school's culture towards inclusiveness. We also need to appreciate that not all schools are going to have the optimal resources to support the needs of your child. In that case, we may like to know, how does the school practice self-efficacy? How do they make the best use of the current resources and skills to provide support to students with additional needs? And here, instead of making the school feel overwhelmed with a lot of questions, you can actually let them know that you as a parent are always there to provide support, or maybe your child's therapist can come and provide support to your child in the school environment. Because as I know through my experience of having a child at primary school, schools are always in need of parent participation. So that would be, I think that is something they always welcome, when parents are willing to participate and provide support. My last tip is all about, while you are advocating for your child, just remember that always assume good intentions about the school and its staff about helping your child. And while we are saying that we need to advocate, we should not make it sound like moral policing. Stay calm, show your consideration, show your thoughtfulness, and chip in any idea or support that you have in order to support the child. I hope this video was beneficial and it provided you with 1 or 2 tips at least to help you out when you are on the lookout for the right school for your child. I'll come back with another video quite soon. Till then, take care and bye-bye.